Sam Hutchinson, how long do you think it will take for the offense to figure out the McDonald defense? Multiple other teams will be running it this year, and McVay seemed to handle it well. Think Shanahan will answer back. We certainly do understand, Sam, that when you get a defense that becomes a du jour defense of the moment and you start to see the installation of the defense occur throughout the NFL in so many different varied areas, that does tend to be one that is an indication that the defense is not going to maybe be able to just sit there at the top of the heap there throughout the whole, for the foreseeable future, because there is so many teams running it, and eventually offenses will find the ways to not use the word solve it, but find effectiveness with it, find some success against it. I don't think, Sam, it's going to get solved. I really don't. McVay, the thing with the way that McDonald has run this is that he's not just taking something that was priorly handed down. It's not like the Fangio defense, and the Fangio defense gets handed to Staley, and it gets handed to Evero, and it gets handed to this guy, and then they all just kind of run the Fangio scheme, and then it's being run everywhere across the league, and then the league kind of starts to figure out some of it, or they can't run it as well as Fangio can run it. It's not that same sort of thing, because so much of what Mike Macdonald has been his own thing. He's not running the Fangio scheme. He's the trend runner on this. He is the one that has pushed this ball forward. He's taken the Ryan defense that this thing comes from, the Wink Martindale, the defense that this comes from, we're going to run casino blitzes. We're going to trust our man cover corners on the outside. We're going to stack those fronts, and we're going to send them. Instead, what he did is he said, we're going to run those stack fronts, but we're not going to send them. And we're going to be unpredictable. And we're going to change it play by play. And we're going to change our coverages of what you see pre to post snap. I don't think that there's as easy a solution within that, Sam. I don't think that just because other teams are running that a lot, that there's that solution to be found within it. I think it's going to be hard for other defensive coaches to replicate what Mike Macdonald's done, because he's the one being the artist. He's the one that everybody's going to try to copycat off the back of. And it's the copycats that can't make it work. It's the copycats that'll be the ones that fail. And in his case, I don't think that that's going to happen. The other part of this, Sam, is the failings that occur with a scheme that starts to get implemented across the board, the NFL, in a variety of different places, is the stagnation of the scheme. Is the scheme not being then pushed forward anymore? The playbook is what it is. We run the plays we play. Teams will solve it or they won't. Versus a coach that has that and then also says, yeah, we're going to continue to change this. Yeah, we're going to continue to update this. What I mean by this, Sam, is you have your coverage looks already that are a hallmark of Mike Macdonald's scheme. And this comes from the Fangio defense to a degree, but it is we're going to change our coverages pre to post snap. What you see pre-snap is not what you're going to get post-snap. But now what we're hearing about Mike Macdonald throughout this course of this offseason and what he's talked about and what you can see what they're doing and how they've set up the personnel is he's trying to establish that same modus operandi of his secondary for his linebackers, for his defensive line. So when he talked about in the press conference of Dotson and Baker, and he was asked, is Dotson still going to be the Mike? Is Baker still going to be the Will? And he said, we're going to try something new here. Both of those guys have a background of both playing the Will and the Mike. We're gonna change them up play by what they're playing. We didn't do that at Baltimore. He says this in the press conference, Sam. We didn't do this at Baltimore. I didn't ask Roquan Smith to turn into a Will. I didn't ask Patrick Queen to become the Mike. But we're going to do this here because these guys have the background in doing that. I'm going to take what I'm doing in the secondary. I'm going to take what I'm doing with the unpredictability of that, and I'm going to apply it to my linebacker crew. And then, even more forward, you can see him, Sam, here potentially be starting to try to apply it also to his defensive line. Because he has in Jaron Reed, Byron Murphy, and Leonard Williams, three guys who have fluency in both playing nose tackle and playing three tech. So again, you can have a guy who's lined up prior to the snap. He's lined up as a three tech, becomes a nose tackle. You can have a guy that's lined up as a nose tackle that shoots the gap like a three tech post snap. So you can be completely unpredictable on all three levels of your defense. And those second two parts of that, Sam, were completely new things. Those second two parts of that are completely unique new things that he's applying into this defense. Part to me of an example, Sam, of him looking to not just stay on his laurels. I've gotten to here. I did it by doing this. Now I'm going to ride or die with this. But instead, I got here. I got it by doing this. I'm going to keep pushing this ball forward. That's the impression that I get from Macdonald and the way he's going. And I think that that's going to go a long way, Sam, to helping to prevent this scheme from just being kind of solved very quickly. And in Shanahan's case, specifically, versus McVay, they're different in this respect. Shanahan doesn't have necessarily the passing concepts McVay does to be able to attack you. And that this Macdonald defense in so many respects, Sam, is built to shut down the type of offense that is the 49ers. It's not a good fit. It's not a good pairing between the two types of styles. And I don't know that the 49ers really have a fix here, because we're going to go into those games against the Niners. McDonald's going to take away the running game. He's going to take away the short routes, and he's going to make Brock Purdy push the ball down the football field. And my feeling on that is I don't think that Brock Purdy can consistently push the ball down the field if that's the way you're going to make him beat you. And that's just what Mike McDonald's going to do. That's just what he did to the Niners last year. And that's just why he got Brock Purdy to throw 4 interceptions when he played him.